Everyone, Sanjeev here. Today I've got a very special guest, Nowshad, who's not only a good friend but our client as well. Last year, he has gone and bought four properties in last 12 months, four investment properties, and is still looking to buy more. And now this guy has inspired me, and I'm sure it will inspire a lot of other people. So I thought, okay, I'll talk to him and see why he's doing what he's doing, and know what's going on, and uncover his mindset about investing property, and know what are his goals. So let me welcome. Hi Nashad, how are you?
Hi, Sanjeev. I'm good. How are you?
Now, very good. Thanks for your time today, buddy. So let's get on to it. So tell me, who you are, where do you live, what do you do?
Yeah, this my name is Nowshad. I work in one of the big four as a consultant. I look after those home loans and other stuff as a approval. I live in Sydney. I'm married. I've got one small kid, and yeah, other than property investment, I do invest in shares. And other than my activities, I do play cricket and soccer. Yeah, that's a more of a balanced sort of life for me. I do enjoy investing. That's why I'm here. And I met Sanjeev 2 years, 3 years back, just in other way. But obviously, I started investing in last 14 months.
Okay, now it's good. So now, Naushad, so you invest in shares as well, right? So how do you like, like, of course, now I know, you've got one owner occupied here in Sydney, your beautiful place, and right now that's where you're there, right? So by the way, we are recording this session in October 2022. Uh, um, and you bought four properties. So what is like kind of makes, like, still you love shares, or how you going with your shares versus property? It's interesting because I don't see a lot of people buying properties and investing in shares as well. And so
Uh, Investment is in my DNA in terms of what I like, what I enjoy. But obviously, you have to look at the returns, because returns and risks are pretty go side by side. So if you're looking for returns, you need to take risk. And obviously, stocks or shares are very volatile. It's just not very sustainable, which properties are. And you're looking at a stable asset, and shares, to be frank, not stable, because it's depending on a lot of macro factors, which is depending on the market, international economies, a lot of cross-border things as well. So yeah, just if you want to something stable, something you want a solid sort of income, having a growth sort of things. Obviously, properties is the they are the king, because it grows as well. Shares, it can grow, it can go down in terms of your its position. But yeah, I do enjoy both. But what I'm trying to do is minimizing my exposure to the shares, because obviously what is happening to the global market, or the macro factors, which is impacted by a lot of things, inflations, war, fuel, cost going up, lots of other stuffs going on across globally, not in Australia. So that impacts our ASX as well, because ASX is very much depending on the Nasdaq and other share exchanges as well. So I'm trying to minimizing my exposure in shares, going to the properties, because I have seen a bit of good results as expected in last 14 months. Yeah, so comparing those those are two different dynamics. If you know what you're doing and your risk mindset, if you're risk averse or risk seeker, these are the two different sort of things. If you're looking for risk, more returns, shares. But obviously, if you can take it, because sometimes your shares can go 20% up and it can go 30% down. So if you can take those shocks, and then it's for you. But its shares are not for everyone. That's what my suggestions. Do your due diligence, do your knowledge checking, and then it's a lot of follow up. You need to study a lot. You need to study the newspapers, CNBC, a lot of other channels, and not the Australian newspaper. You need to read the other newspapers as well. There's a bit of reading going on, but as long as you enjoy, I would suggest you to do it. If you don't enjoy, don't do it. That's my opinion. If you ask me, the second opinion.
So a couple of questions I have. See, I'm a pure Australia, means property guy, right? So first, like, I mean, I don't like, because shares you have to keep monitoring, right? It takes a bit of, gives me a stress. That's personally, right, me. So that's one thing I would like to learn from you. how you feel like, how you manage the stress. When it goes up, it's good. I mean, at the same time, it's you're excited, right? When it goes down, it's nerve breaking, maybe, right? And another thing is the point is about the leverage. Like in property, I invest because I know I can put 10%, 90% I can get from the bank, and the tenants will pay my rent, right? But how do we have any leverage in shares as well, or what do you have to say, Naushad, on that?
You can leverage because shares you can get the margin loans, which has got different types of shares: cat A, cat B, cat C. Meaning like blue chips are pretty solid, because if you are, a bank will not give you all the money. Similar to what you call it LVR, loan to value ratios in the property market. You go up to 80, 90 depending on the types of property, and then whether there's a postcode restrictions. Shares, you have got different types of shares. Say if you are buying a CBA share, which is a blue chip company, so then you can get a 70% loan from the banks. Say, for example, if you're buying $100 of CBA shares, a bank will give you $70 if you have got a margin loan, and then you need to contribute $30 from your pocket. So then that's how the leverage works, as understand from the property market. The same formula, same grammar. But if you mix your portfolio, not in one share, say 3 to 5 shares, then your LVR from bank's perspective goes up. Say if you've got 3 different shares, so bank will lend you all like 75% compared to 70. So but it has to be all blue chips. You cannot mix like some of the shares having risk category high, say 45, 50. So depending on the what you're buying, if you're buying say CBA, ANZ, Westpac, BHP, West Farmers, if you've got 3 shares, so bank will give you 75% of the total share value, and then you need to put 25% from your pocket. And if you have got more than 5 types of blue chip company shares, you can get the lending up to 80%. So then more diversified portfolio, less risk for the bank, and they can lend you money. The similar leverage concept. Say if you have got $100, so then if you have got 5 types of share, so you can go $500 of portfolio. Your contribution is 100. Bank will give you 400, depending, as I saying, is cat A or blue chips, those ASX 200 companies. That's how you can leverage. And you need to buy in the right time, similar to property. So when people are scared of buying, you need to buy those things. When things are red, you need to get in, and when things are green, you get out. This is similar concept everywhere. Whether you're buying a property, you buy shares, but shares are risky. It's not for everyone. If you can absorb those things, if you want to take some panadols, end of the day, some of the days, properties you don't have to take panadols, but shares you have to take some sort of it's a bit stressful sometimes, but depending on the results, what you're looking at, what's your goal, then
So
yeah.
that's interesting. So you can leverage in shares as well, as you said, right now. If you want to invest half a million, you have 100,000 you invest, and still you can leverage. So like, see, I know in property you do a bank valuation, right, to know the property, and then you have like postcodes, especially when you're buying in a self-managed fund, they do a postcode checks, and or even for a standard lending, and then they can say, hey, it's in a mining town or a risk area, will give you only 70% versus 90% LVR. So it's something similar in the shares also. They say, hey, this is a blue chip, or how it works there.
Yep. Every bank, they have got a list or chart saying these are 80. Like they have a chart from A to Z in terms of every company is listed in the ASX, and on that chart, they will put the assigned LVR on the right side. Say if you have got 1 share, it will be 70. You've got 3 shares, it will be 75. If you've got more than 5 shares, similar, it will be 80. So it will give you single LVR, multiple LVR, and then there will be portfolio LVR, depending on how many similar things you have got. So it has got a chart. You can follow the charts. Every bank, if you go with your margin loan, you can go for the approved share list, which will give you the breakdowns, which company has got what sort of lending exposure, and then based on that you can calculate by yourself. It's similar. It is very clear, it is very transparent, so you just need to understand which you are buying, and you can follow the market. You understand which has got more risk, which is more shares, bigger companies like CSL, which is it's medical like sort of things, like they invest in plasma things, and they were about to launch the vaccine AstraZeneca last during the COVID time. So there are different types of companies depending on the mindset. and depending on what you know, because you won't be able to understand every company, it's not possible. So maybe shortlist your companies and then follow those for 6 months at least.
No, good. No, interesting. On the other side, shares. So, now thank you, Anashad. So now tell me regarding your, like, say, now you have got a property bug. I know you've got five. I know your borrowing is looking tight. But now the other day we had a chat. Hey, I'm now going with third-year lender, even though you're already working in your, the first-year bank, right? Big four. So now you're pushing yourself, you're looking for ways. So where it all started for you, Nashad, like, like, I'm sure you migrated to Australia. So do you want to touch base, like, where this bug of property, the mindset, like, because talk to a lot of people and they say, hey, I don't know, I'm not sure, and some are in their 20s, some in 30s, some in 40s, 50s, and they're not sure that, hey, is what is the right time to start. So where this all started for you, because I know, you take action, you just do things, right? So
Yeah, good question. So first property I bought in 2011, and then it was owner occ when just I came to Australia, because I did study Australia in MBA 2005 2006. Then I went back to my back home to Bangladesh, and then I got married, did some work in HSBC for 3 4 years, and then came back 2011 with my second phase. And then I bought a owner occupied in Glenfield, where I'm living now. This is my second property. But at that property, I have nothing to do because it was bought on the right time. And then I bought my second property in 2013. At that time, market was booming and Glenfield was booming. So it was with the swing. If you understand the swing concept, with the swing against the swing. So then with the swing, you just sit back, relax. The pilot will take off the plane. So I was sitting, doing nothing. So it went all up with a very good way. So first property, and I sold the property in 2015. The first property which I bought in 2011, I made a good sort of good margin on that one, 30-40% gain on that one. But then, as I work in similar industry in the banks, I get to know more things, more complex sort of scenarios, more complex, macro information like valuation market things as well. So I got scared of buying the second investment property. So then I've been following a lot of things right, left, and then mostly what I was facing is lack of resources in terms of who can guide me. And these buyer's agent concept came, I think, end of 2018 or maybe early 2018, because from 2015 to 18, I was able to making the decision, but I was not confident. Even if I work in the similar sort of field, I was not confident because I like numbers, I like delivering results, and I like which I call it SME. SME means subject matter expert, because even if a doctor, you will say he's not expert in everything, because obviously if you have broken your hand, you have to go to some other doctor. So then I believe in a specialized concept, meaning someone is expert on that field. So that's why I wanted to build a team, say in 2018, and I've been following since then 2 3 buyers agent, and then just looking at their visuals, meaning what they're showing to us in terms of numbers, what they're doing, how much they're investing, cash flow perspective, and all the things. So that's why I want to build a team at that time, because I had some money, as I said, on the first property sale, so there was some cash there to invest. So that's why I thought, like, I need some sort of guidance from the specialized or expert people who can guide me and who is already delivering results. Not right team or strong team doesn't mean that it will be good for you. It has to be fitted with your risk appetite and with your sort of dynamics as well. So that's where the thing was. Maybe from 2018 I was very serious in investing, but it took a while just to understand a lot of things. Market was doing right, left. People are saying, it's going to be going down. It always says something, fear factor from the peers and the market. So it took a while, and I started again my second phase in 2020. 21, I think 21 August, when Sanjeev was, we could able our first property with his assistance.
yeah, and then, so yeah, I think you bought your first one with us last year in August, and then literally by now you have four properties through us, right? So tell me, it's interesting, like, because you bought your first property. Did you say it back in 2011?
Yes, that's correct. 2011 September. Yep.
September. Okay. And then you sold it after 4 years after making a good 30-40% on that. And what was the reason of selling that property, Naushad? Because
There's no reason, because at that time I thought like it has already gone to his matured stage, meaning like there is a limit of everything. You know, if it is a 400,000 property, it can only go say 600, 700. It cannot be 1.5 million, say for example, because obviously you need to understand the suburbs. It was almost like 400, 600,000 at that time, with 400 purchased by 600 sale price. I thought like I could afford it, no issues. But at that time, I didn't have the, some education piece, which I learned last 12, 14 months. If I had this sort of knowledge at that time, I would have hold it. So that's what, if you ask me, knowledge is, never ending. So then you learn from the expert people. That's why I wanted to onboard some expert people who will be, indirectly in my team, but who will assist me or guide me the right directions. There was no reason, Sanjeev. I thought like that was enough to gain, get out. And as you said, some of the peer group or friends or buddies, they always say reduce the lending, reduce the owner occupied, don't leverage. So then there was a bit of a clash of thought process. Like, yeah, so you were fighting against you or with the peer group, that someone was saying reduce the lending, someone was saying leveraging. So now I'm in the game of leveraging last 2 3 years. So with the help of you and some confidence.
yeah, no, and like you have been looking for solutions. See, like anyone can help, but then people are looking, you were looking for solution because you're there, you bought, I think you bought a house in Sydney, right? Back in 11, correct? So it's not like an apartment or something where you say, hey, enough, sell it off, right? But it was a good house, and that's where like the opportunity cost can come, right? But then also, and all those, the fear factor, colleague, friends, and unfortunately we listen, right? And even though we don't want sometimes, but no, it's feeding us indirectly. And I think maybe the reason, right? So but then what happened after you've sold your 15 in 2015 property? And then like what was kicking off, like what is going, what got you inspired to say, hey, now enough is enough, I'm going all in? So what triggered, like it was, like something, you revisited your goals, or what was that thing, which said, hey, I'm now all in, enough?
Yeah, because I had the share investment on parallel basis, like the same sort of shares and investment. But I thought in 2019-20, I thought like I need to look at longer terms perspective, because I'm not getting younger, I'm getting older. So I need something solid which will be there, and some sort of exit strategy, meaning like sort of passive income, or when I'm going to retire, those will be like my passive sort of income other than my super or SMSF fund. So those are my long-term plans, because I re-strategized myself in 2018. I changed my longer-term goals, not short terms, 1 or 2 years. It's more of a 10 years, 20 years, 30 years goals. And I want to see myself, financially free with the help of, passive incomes and obviously some capital gain, which can, which will be giving me some freedom. If I'm planning to 65, maybe I'm going to plan now 58, 59 in terms of retirement age. So I'm working on that objective, and with the help of property leveraging, that's what my new strategy. After I got assistance from you in terms of those property investment.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you follow a lot of people. I know, feed yourself with good content. You watch, being working with one of the big fours, right? You see a lot of, and especially you're in the lending side, right? You see people coming with big property portfolio. I think the other day we were having a chat, like, hey, Sanjeev, why these people are buying under structures and all. I think even you have got one under your structure, and now we're looking for more so that you can leverage more, right? So it's now looking, I mean, these things were there right in front of us, or it's always there, but then now you're looking at those things as well, right? So I think, now I think, I agree. I mean, sometimes we look at short term, and then things are different when we just look at a short angle. Hey, come on, no, 30% growth, why not, right? Um, and then when we look at the longer picture, so I think that's changed your whole perspective, right? Like now I don't have to, just buy, set and forget, and leverage more. So how is your wife going with all this leverage now, because you're taking a lot of loans and all? So
Frankly, there will be a lot of resistance, because obviously, unless you are in the game, you don't know the game. because from sideline everything looks tough or easy, because you're making a comment without kicking the ball, or making the batsman, or kicking, playing the with the cricket, sort of play cricket or soccer, because I play those two. That's why I understand those two better. So from sideline, everything looks easy. Oh, okay, he made a six. Okay, maybe the ball was a easy ball to pick up six. But obviously, a lot of resistance. But as I explained, a lot of things, because once you buy the first one in terms of investment, people don't know the data, because there's no data. You are just buying it. So I have got data last 6 months, 12 months, how it performed in terms of the investment returns, and what are the capital sort of growth happened in terms of such a short period of time. Because real estate 12 months is nothing in terms of if you're looking at a broader picture. But as I said, we bought it in the right time, in a sense, and with a good price. So obviously, and also the market is a moving market, a very dynamic market in terms of, if you're saying, which we have been saying it will be stopped, to be stopped, it will go down. But unfortunately, since 2017, nothing is stopping, nothing is going down in terms of real estate. So that was another issue. Like, if 2017 people said it will be crashing, because a lot of economists, like in terms of AMP, Westpac, they're saying 40%, 50% down by 2019. And the other thing was COVID. It really backfired in a good sense, meaning people thought there will be another, because share market was crashed, so property market boomed. So obviously those are the things. Obviously I thought like I'm getting behind in terms of not buying anything. So that really triggered, maybe I would have buy in 2022, but obviously COVID and other data, what I was looking in the market or in the media, that really escalated. Like, I need to buy now, and as long as I get the right person or SME expert to give me advice. Yeah, so but obviously she's on board in terms of understanding the numbers, more supportive, because when you deliver results, it's a no-brainer. Okay, I'm in it, because if I'm failing in terms of number, because I have picked a good team, that's what my point was. I took 18 months of research, understanding their dynamics, understanding their appetite, and that's how it is delivering. So then she's happy, because it's going good in terms of number, headache free. She does look in every 6 months, which is twice, review twice, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes a year. Good return, cash flow is good. It gained in terms of value. Yeah, so yeah, she's very eager to know the next one, when you're going to be buying. Not sure, maybe 6 months time. She wants to be part of it in terms of education and all the uh, session I do with the Sanjeev. So that's a good thing, because I get a um, more involvement from her, which is good. No resistance at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. See, I think, and you're playing with very strategically, keeping her informed, and explaining in a way where which she understands, right? And plus, you're showing her results, right? Because that's where a lot of people are here. Hey, I want to buy, but I'm not sure about my partner. There is some resistance. Hey, come on. I mean, we all have, right? I mean, even my wife has some kind of resistance, but then I know what she would like to see, and eventually, we have to show, and especially if you're doing something good, right, then highlight that, right? So so I think, and yeah, I think now it's good to see that she's onboarded. She has seen the results, and now she want to participate. And I think last conversation we had, she was saying, "Hey, when you are buying the next one, right?" And that's when we laughed. Said, "Oh, that's good. Well done to you." So so now it's good. I think, and how you've now you're buying a lot of properties. What are you seeing in your friend circle, or like within your family members, your parents, or now you have a son, all those things, like what's going on?
Again, I think it depends on your mindset, because obviously, my background, my parents, they are in a mindset of reducing owner occupied debt. So they don't believe on leveraging, but obviously, um, I need to show them a sort of a case study sort of thing. This is what is the investment. This is what is coming, what is performing, and then you're not going to be. It's not like $10 becomes $12 in the 6 months, 1 year time. Like the way you invest in shares and other stuff, term deposits sort of things. So then you need to do a broader picture. 10 years time, this say 300,000 or 400,000 property will be 550. Say for example, then if you are amortizing the loan might go down or maybe remain as it is, depending on the type of the loan. So then looking at the 10 years time, if you're putting the money there, will it be growing that way? Not really. So then there is a bit of side by side comparison, like this is what's the normal standard thing and this is what property is doing, and it might grow more depending on the where you're buying. So that's where if you're reducing the loans as well because of your cash flow is positive, so then obviously your gap is going bigger, meaning net equity, which is the bigger thing to buy leverage some new properties. So that's where my parents, they understood. Now what I'm doing is not like going like boom boom boom, not like that. It's like strategic, like calculative action taken. It's just like you make a goal and take measured actions, not like whimsical, like I'm just buying it because my neighbor is buying it. Not really. You need to understand what's your game plan, what's your formula, and what's your expectation. So then as long as those are met, you can review in 6 months. That's good, because it's like you need to understand what you're doing there, because this is a business as well. It's like a property investment, but obviously same formula: review strategy, amend, like, or maybe aggressive bit of, or go slow. So you review your strategy every 6 months, and then if things are okay, go for that. So I think that's where they understood now. What I'm doing is a very calculative. It's not about like for the sake of buying it. Not really. I'm very I read a lot of things and I give them examples, which my live property, what I've got data in front of me is not made up by someone else. It's made up by me, and then with some reports from the real estate agents. So they're happy with that, with the numbers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and something, what you and me and everyone is doing is, it is a proven thing, right? It's not like doing for the first time or reinventing the wheels. There's many people who have done it. They're successful. It works. And I think, it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, especially the kind of properties, the houses, the numbers, we are buying. So, and we have, in your property portfolio, I think they're just awesome. So, awesome. Now, what you have to tell to people who are coming on this journey, and especially in this market, rate of interest are going up. I mean, I know we're having a chat of the day and saying, hey, I'm going to the third tier lender, happy to pay higher rate of interest, but all I want is give me a loan so I can buy another property as soon as possible rather than waiting for 6 months. So, what do you have to say, people who are looking in the current market or any market? I think my feeling is the opportunity has been always there, and it will always be there. It's not like, hey, if you buy now, then only it will be always there. But the only thing is you have to keep looking, understand the game, as you said, mindset, change your mindset, and everything will change. So what do you have to say to others who are looking to get into the investment path?
As you said, the market is always moving. It's a dynamic market. So then there will be opportunity all the time. So then my plan is, when people are not in, you should be getting in, because obviously if everybody is in, like, that's not, you need to be differentiate yourself, because you need to set your goals, and then you need to understand those restrictions or obstacles you're getting, because now I think it's more of the lending side in terms of getting into it. But obviously there will be options in terms of lending, because it's not about like all the time you have to go to first years. There's a second tier, third tier, as long as you know what you're doing and you have your due diligence, because obviously higher interest rate means like the cash flow will be a bit impacted, maybe short terms, but longer terms it will come back, because it's a cycle in terms of interest rate, in terms of property. So if you know your cash flows maybe 1 or 2 years is getting shrink, but at least you have got a longer plans, and then you can aim for those things. Obviously there will be fear factor, but the market for the real estate will always be there. And what I've seen is proven in terms of what people say, what media is saying. I haven't seen that results in terms of negative decrease or recession, all these sort of things. What was predicted since 2016. That's why I didn't invest from 2016 to 18, because I was following this media, a lot of articles. But what I've seen in my live examples, I don't see those numbers match what the media is saying. So if you know what you are buying, it's not about all the time it will be generic, it will be different, because obviously you're using someone expert to find a property with some resource, and they do the research. There are two arts: one is resource, one is research. These two are very important, because I don't have the time to do the research nowadays. So then that's why I'm using expert. So they will find it up. They do a very brief presentations, demographics and all the other stuff which I need to know in terms of cash flows, in terms of who is just surrounding areas, schools, all the amenities. So then it is in front of you. You just make the decision and do the lending. But obviously that's why you need to connect to the right team, which is fitted on as per your risk appetite. It's not like all the buyers will be fitting to you, because obviously what I need is someone who is expert, who is delivering results, and who is contactable, because I don't have a lot of questions. I have got 30 seconds, 40 seconds questions, and I need someone who can answer not really instantly, maybe after 2 hours, 3 hours, because I've contacted other buyers agents where they advise me to fill up a form or something, like the agent some software or something, then they will call me back. I said, okay, if that sort of formalities before we get into any engagement, so then I don't understand what going to be future, because I'm not looking for a very very formal sort of answer. So that's why a bit of there is a differentiation, what you want, what you expect. So for me, Sanjeev's team was very approachable, and I could contact him anytime. That's what make me more comfortable, because all the questions were answered. So that's why I got very no fear. Fear has gone from me. What he's presenting, I know it's going to deliver results, and that's why I know if I get the borrowing, which is the hardest part at the moment. But there is solution in the market. It's not about like in Australia, nothing is impossible. If you have got like some sort of good credit history, some reasonable income, you can try for those and then get the fear factor out, get into the market, face the reality, rather than saying something outside the sidelines, because those are two different contexts. Inside the field, outside the field, get in, then you will see everything is okay, because from far everything looks tough. And that's why people sometimes, your buddies, maybe the circle, close circle, makes you fear. Yeah, but obviously someone will take the action all the time. So then whether you will be leader or follower, this is your choice. But obviously I was a follower for 3.5 years, but I thought like I missed 3.5 years from my life. I would have been a better cash flow, better leverage, because time is gone. At that time, 2016-17 was like a bit of a king sort of real estate market. So it's up to you. Make your own strategy, make your own due diligence, pick the correct team, and go for it. I think the action speaks louder than anything. That's what my motto is.
Yeah, no, thank you, Nashad. I think now it's really a good message. I think, and now I think you mentioned property investing is a business, right? And I 100% agree, right? So now you have decent property portfolio. I know it's not like making $1 million. You have a you know we all average household incomes, making family people. So now as your property portfolio is growing, like um, lending is getting tougher, and also what are the some of the key challenges now you're facing, because I know you want to push hard and keep buying, right? You don't want to stop. So what are the some of the things, and what are the things now you're trying to implement in your property portfolio, which may help you further keep
For my existing portfolio, what if there is something can be reno, something could be done, which can give me some those value of the property could be, or maybe some rental yields. That's what my plan is, because I've been talking with the agents if there is something we could do better in terms of making the property enhancement in terms of value. Those are the things, because all my properties are very below 400 sort of space, so it's pretty basic like sort of properties. So in a short time it's not going to be growing too much, but it has grown a bit, almost like 5 to 6 or maybe 10% some of the properties. So there is equity, so then I can use those equity in terms of leveraging. So and those can be your deposits, in terms of as long as you can get a lending, that can be your deposit. So then one headache is not there. If you have a loan to be approved, there is less headache, because you don't need the money to pay the deposits. So those are the short term goals, as long as I get lending, so which is a bit of a 50-50, but I'm very positive I'll get it. So those are my goals, like I'm getting bit of equity out of those investment what I did in 12 months time, which I didn't plan, because I didn't think in 12 months time I'll have this much, so which is a almost a deposit. So it is easy, right? As I said, why my wife, she got some understanding now, because she thought like getting a deposit is like 5 years, 4 years, 6 years. It's a different sort of context. So if you're getting free in terms of equity, it's just depending on the what you're buying, that's the good thing, because I'm very confident of getting something which I don't have the money to pay deposit, but obviously I can leverage. That's what the discussion was with Sanjeev, because all of a sudden I realized, I did the review of 12 months. So then I realized there's a equity. So then obviously, lending per side, obviously you need to be a bit careful what you're doing, in terms of who is your lender as per your risk appetite cash flows. And then maybe you call to a mortgage broker, they can assist you, making a right directions in terms of, yeah. So that's the short term goals in terms of getting, reviewing the properties, and if any enhancement can make the property value high, I will invest and see the values, what sort of result they're delivering.
And now you're looking into the structures also, like, family structure. You already have a self-managed fund, all those things also. So also, I think those things also helping you to keep buying more, because the way the lenders look at it, and of course you have a good accountant who is guiding you. So I think, yeah, so I think that is something also. I think it's definitely, people who are looking to build a decent property portfolio should look into it, talk to the your team, the good accountants who can guide you.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, because there's a lot of aspect of the taxations and a lot of other asset protection, a lot of other benefits, depending on the accounting advice. So yeah, then once you are getting into complex sort of scenarios like 4 or 5, then you need to look at longer terms, because obviously buying under your name or company or trust name is a different sort of aspect or context. Getting an advice from the accountant, I think, will be a good thing, and you will get pros and cons. Obviously, not everything is for everyone, so that's what Sanjeev was saying, that there any.
Yeah, now good. Now, thank you so much, Nashad. Any last words for your investor friends? What do you have to say? Uh,
Uh, my suggestion will be, get involved with someone who is expert in a sense, who is delivering results. And I felt confident from day one, because the presentations, numbers, data or pack in front of me was speaking by itself. It's not about Sanjeev is giving commentary and I'm listening to his commentary. Not really. I look at the numbers and I'm validating those numbers by the individual who is presenting. So then if two are matching, that makes sense. That's the goal. So then always look at the content you are looking at, and always look at the individual who is delivering. If you are confident on the numbers, then the individual who is delivering, who is also good, obviously he is making those numbers obviously based on some data. So always pick up a good team, and always look at the resources in front of you, and the team will do the research. These are the good things, and these will save time. Time is money, because I don't have the time, because I have a full-time job. And for me, it's 12, 14 months was a good of education side. I learned a lot, even if there's no end of learning, which obviously I got from Sanjeev's team. That made me confident in terms of what I'm doing. I'm more of acceleration mode at the moment. So yeah, so I'll suggest you involve someone, or go to someone who you believe can deliver. And yeah, get into the journey, because there will be bump, but obviously this is how it is. Not going to be smooth, but better than shares, it's going to be growing for you. And it's more of a passive things. The properties will deliver the numbers for you. Yeah, so that's what I have in my case study. So that's why I will suggest you to involve this team and get help, and yeah, jump into it. So as long as you know what you're doing, I'm not saying jump into it because I'm saying, or Sanjeev is saying, just do your due diligence and understand what you're doing, and that will make sense and make results for you in the future.
Yeah, no, thank you, Nashad. No, thank you for kind words. And but no, definitely, I think I think learning is the key, and learn, and then of course execute it, either by yourself or use a team, professional team, right? I mean, do the due diligence, build a team. So now, thank you so much, and congratulations for becoming that 1% of Australians who have got 5 and more properties. So it's a big step, and I'm sure you'll be not stopping. So all the best for your future investments, Nashad, and thanks so much for your time today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed, I learned something new from this episode. Please don't forget to review our podcast and tune in every Tuesday 8 a.m. Sydney time to listen to all our inspirational guests and learn from their property journey. In case you're looking for help with your property investment journey or building a property portfolio, please visit our website www.investorsdream.com.au to learn more about us and our services. And feel free to book a call from our website for a friendly chat. Have an awesome life and happy property investing.